Come on, come on. Good girl. This is my girl. She's so pretty, isn't she?
Julie Andrews at home. So much life in her smile, in her arm around your shoulders, and in all the joy she has given us for generations. It started 56 years ago when a stage actress boarded a flight to Hollywood to make her very first movie ever. And no idea what movie stars do.
How do I say that? What do I do?
You're age 27. Do you remember the first exchange of the first movie that you ever did in your life?
You mean the first take?
In Mary Poppins, yes.
Yeah, I do. Dick Van Dyke said,
Mary Poppins, you look beautiful.
and all I had to do was walk across the camera and say, do you really think so?
Cross my heart you do.
And so it began. And it wasn't how she said it. It was that something in her face told you that there was someone named Mary Poppins who wanted to heal your world and make it bright. By the way, she invented those feet.
The feet need to be turned out.
Why?
I don't know, but you don't want droopy feet at the end of the image of the umbrella. They just sort of flapped about.
And early on, she showed she could do anything.
A robin feathering.
Do you need a tweeting robin?
You're doing that whistling?
Yeah, I was very good at whistling.
For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Every scene a kind of decathlon, singing, tweeting, and a huge contraption.
Yeah, there was a wire that went up my shoulder and down my back.
Mary Poppins, get me down.
Every scene had to be perfect. Some of them taking 6 weeks of rehearsal. Watch her and Dick Van Dyke from behind the scenes, trying to balance on anvils that will eventually become turtles.
I was learning on my feet, Diane, I mean, so fast.
Every day, up before dawn, home after dark. She was also breastfeeding her new baby.
You're breastfeeding? Mm-hmm. You're getting up before dawn.
Yes!
The stern, formidable P.L. Travers, who had created Mary Poppins, even phoned her the day after her baby was born.
And she said, well, talk to me. I gather you're going to be doing Mary Poppins. And I said, well, I've just had a baby and I'm feeling a bit groggy right now, Miss Travers, but how lovely to talk to you. And she said, well, you're far too pretty, of course, but you've got the nose for it. That, I guess. My ski nose.
No wonder the costume designer, who also happened to be her husband, Tony Walton, created a kind of message.
He had secrets in the costumes.
Yes. He said, I fancy that Mary Poppins has a secret life, a kind of quiet pleasure at being a little wicked and naughty. Underneath all the skirts, there were other colors. And so when I kicked up my heels or when I moved, you just caught a flash.
It's all here in her new memoir, Home Work, the story of a life lived in the place where home and work are in collision. A life that began with that little girl endlessly traveling through music halls in vaudeville. She was helping support her unsteady, cracked family.
You grew up in a turbulent household of alcoholism, anger, uncertainty.
And despair on my mum's part and things
Depression,
like that. Yeah.
despair.
As a child, a lonely life on the road, here even singing for the King of England. She promised her mother she would make it all right. As a teenager, buying the family home. But through it all, a supernatural gift and an escape from the sorrows in her life.
And it was like 4 or 5 octaves, and I could, dogs for miles around would howl when I went way up into the stratosphere.
F above high C.
F above high C was twice nightly in my debut, yeah.
You've talked about the fact that you were taught just to carry the note and keep
And
the
to
note.
even them all
Even
like a
them.
string of pearls if possible. Just pure joy.
And the joy of that music would propel her through movie after movie, albums, concerts, a golden career, and a struggle at home. Tomorrow, she and her daughter Emma will tell us what we've never heard before about real life, off-screen.
I finally got enough courage after the first week to say, I don't understand why I'm weeping so much. I can't seem to stop. You know, you're surrounded by the wagons and suddenly the cavalry comes up over the hill in one of those westerns and you weep for relief.
Well, your whole life had been geared toward a sort of perfectionism.
Yes, well, those lovely first movies were no help either.
No.
Mary Poppins practically perfect in every way. And she wasn't, so there you are.
In her memoir, Home Work, the courage it takes when you're in a marriage with something you cannot fix, and summoning strength when a horrible surgery takes away her singing voice. She writes of one song and singing a note designed to carry everyone closer to their happy ending. The song was Jingle Bells.
That's high. I could feel it coming. Go out, further out.